Eat these 5 foods and watch your cholesterol plummet. What if the secret to a healthier heart, the way to really give your heart health a boost, wasn't hiding in a pill bottle but right there in your kitchen pantry? Seriously, what if you could, meal by meal, actually see your cholesterol numbers start to drop? Millions of people are dealing with high cholesterol, a sneaky condition that can quietly lead to heart disease and stroke. But today, we're not just dwelling on the problem, we've got some answers. We're about to reveal 5 specific, potent foods that can effectively lower your cholesterol, potentially even more quickly than you might anticipate. And these aren't some weird, impossible to find ingredients. Nope, they're everyday heroes that can help your health from the inside out. Get ready to see just how powerful your plate can be. The why? Brief explanation of cholesterol. Before we jump into these 5 superfoods, let's quickly get a handle on what we're dealing with. Cholesterol itself isn't all bad. It's a waxy kind of substance our bodies actually need to build healthy cells, make hormones, and help with digestion. Your liver even makes all the cholesterol your body needs. The problem starts when we have too much of a certain type, specifically LDL, or low-density lipoprotein. You've probably heard it called bad cholesterol. When LDL levels get too high, cholesterol can start to stick to the walls of your arteries, forming plaque. This whole process, called atherosclerosis, makes your arteries narrower, making it harder for blood to flow and really bumping up your risk of heart attacks, strokes, and other heart issues. On the flip side, there's HDL, or high-density lipoprotein. That's the good cholesterol. Think of HDL as the cleanup crew. It grabs extra cholesterol from your arteries and takes it back to the liver, which then gets rid of it. So, what we want to do is not just lower overall cholesterol but really focus on bringing down that LDL and keeping our HDL levels steady or even giving them a boost. What you eat plays a big part in this balancing act, influencing about 20% to 30% of the cholesterol in your blood. While your genes have a say, changing what you eat can really make a difference. Interestingly, it's not just the cholesterol in your food you need to watch, but more so saturated and trans fats. These are the types of fats that tell your body to make more of that LDL. The great news? Certain foods have compounds that can actively help lower LDL cholesterol. Let's check them out. Food number 1. Oats and whole grains. The fiber powerhouse is alright. First up, and you might already have this in your cupboard, we're talking oats and other whole grains. You've probably heard oatmeal is good for you, right? Well, it's a rock star when it comes to cholesterol. The secret weapon here is a type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. Picture beta-glucan as this tiny, super sticky sponge moving through your digestive system. As it goes, it latches onto cholesterol-rich bile acids in your gut, stopping that cholesterol from getting absorbed into your bloodstream. Instead, this trapped cholesterol gets shown the door, out of your body. And the effect can be pretty noticeable. Research shows that eating just 1.5 cups of cooked oatmeal a day, that's about 3 grams of beta-glucan, can lower LDL cholesterol by a solid 5 to 8%. Some studies have even seen drops of up to 10% or more. The Food and Drug Administration even gives a thumbs-up heart health claim to foods loaded with beta-glucan, which just shows how effective it is. But it's not just oats. Barley is another fantastic source of beta-glucan and works pretty much the same way. Other whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, and whole wheat pasta and bread also pitch in with valuable soluble fiber and should definitely be on your shopping list if you're looking to lower cholesterol. So, how can you easily sneak these into your meals? Kick off your day with a warm bowl of porridge. Instead of those sugary cereals, go for oat-based ones. You can sprinkle some oat bran on your yogurt or whiz it into smoothies. Swap out white rice for brown rice or quinoa with your meals. When you're making soups or stews, try tossing in some pearl barley for an extra fiber kick. Even picking whole wheat bread for your sandwiches helps. Try to get 2 to 3 servings of oat or barley-based foods each day to really get those cholesterol-lowering benefits. Just make sure you're choosing 100% oats, like rolled oats, because those flavored instant oat packets often come with extra sugar and salt. Food number 2. Nuts. The heart-healthy snack next on our list? Nuts. Think almonds, walnuts, and all their crunchy buddies. For ages, nuts got a bad rap because of their fat content. But here's the thing. It's the type of fat that really counts, and nuts are loaded with heart-friendly unsaturated fats, both monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. These good fats can help bring down LDL cholesterol, especially when you eat them instead of foods high in saturated fats. But it's not just about the healthy fats. Nuts are also a good source of fiber, which, as we just learned, helps stop cholesterol from getting absorbed. Plus, many nuts have plant sterols. These are natural compounds that are kind of like cholesterol's look-alikes. They compete with cholesterol for absorption in your gut, which means less actual cholesterol gets into your bloodstream. Studies have found that regularly munching on a small handful of nuts, about an ounce, or 28-30 grams, every day can cut LDL cholesterol by up to 5%. Some research even points to bigger drops, especially with almonds. Walnuts are another big winner here. They're rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which have extra heart perks like helping with blood pressure. Pistachios, peanuts, which are technically legumes but have a similar nutrient vibe here, hazelnuts, and pecans are all great choices too. The trick is to choose them wisely. Go for unsalted, unroasted, or dry roasted types so you're not getting extra sodium or unhealthy fats that can sneak in during processing. A handful of mixed nuts is a super easy and satisfying snack. Try sprinkling chopped nuts on your morning oatmeal or salad. Use natural almond butter or peanut butter, the kind without added sugar or hydrogenated oils, on whole grain toast. You can even toss walnuts into your baking or add them to a stir-fry for some crunch. Just remember, nuts are calorie-dense, so keep an eye on your portions. But because they pack a lot of good stuff, they're a great choice for your cholesterol-lowering plan. Food number 3. Fatty fish. The omega-3 champions. Our third food takes us to the ocean, fatty fish. Types like salmon, mackerel, herring, sardines, and tuna are famous for being packed with omega-3 fatty acids. These essential fats are fantastic for your heart. While they don't always slash LDL cholesterol dramatically on their own, though they do help when they take the place of saturated fats from meats, omega-3s are champs at lowering triglycerides. Triglycerides are another type of fat in your blood that can contribute to artery clogging if they're too high. Omega-3s also help reduce inflammation in the body, lower blood pressure, and can even make blood clots less likely. The American Heart Association suggests eating at least 2 servings of fish a week, especially the fatty kinds, to get these benefits. A serving is about 3.5 ounces cooked, or roughly 3/4 cup of flaked fish. When you swap fatty fish in for red meat or processed meats, which are often bursting with saturated fats, you get a double win. You're eating less of the fats that push up bad cholesterol and more of the fats that protect your heart. So, how should you cook your fish? Baking, grilling, or steaming are your healthiest bets. Steer clear of deep frying, as that just adds unhealthy fats that cancel out the good stuff. Enjoy some grilled salmon for dinner. Add tuna, canned in water or olive oil, not brine, to your salads or sandwiches, or give mackerel a try for a richer taste. Sardines might be small, but they're loaded with omega-3s and calcium, and you can eat them right out of the can or on crackers. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, just be mindful of fish that might be high in mercury, like king mackerel, and choose safer options like salmon or light tuna. For those who don't eat fish, flax seeds and walnuts are good plant-based sources of a type of omega-3, though our bodies don't use it quite as efficiently as the omega-3s from fish. Food number 4, beans and legumes. The soluble fiber stars coming in at number 4 are beans and legumes. They might seem simple, but they're super powerful. This group includes all sorts of beans: kidney, black, pinto, navy, lentils, chickpeas, and split peas. Just like oats, their main cholesterol-fighting power comes from their high-soluble fiber content. This fiber creates a gel-like substance in your digestive system, binding to cholesterol and stopping it from being absorbed. Making beans and legumes a regular part of your diet can have a really impressive effect. Studies show that eating them daily can lower LDL cholesterol by up to 5–10% in just a few weeks. One study even reported a 19% drop in LDL cholesterol with about 3/4 cup of beans each day. And it's not just about cholesterol. Beans and legumes are amazing for your overall health. They're a fantastic source of plant-based protein, which helps you feel full and satisfied. This can help you manage your weight, which is also great for your heart. Plus, they're packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Adding beans and legumes to your meals is easier and tastier than you might think. Toss chickpeas or kidney beans into your salads. Whip up a lentil soup or a hearty bean chili. Use black beans in tacos or burritos. Hummus, which is made from chickpeas, is a delicious and healthy dip for veggies or whole grain pita bread. Try edamame, soybeans, as a snack. Canned legumes are super convenient. Just make sure to rinse them well to wash off extra sodium. Aim for at least 3/4 to 1 cup of cooked beans or legumes several times a week. It's a good idea to increase your intake slowly to let your digestive system get used to the extra fiber. Swapping out some of the meat in your meals for beans or lentils is a brilliant way to cut down on saturated fat while boosting that helpful soluble fiber. Food number 5. Foods fortified with plant sterols and stanols. The cholesterol blockers. Our fifth and final pick involves foods that have been specially fortified with plant sterols and stanols. These are natural substances found in small amounts in many grains, vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds. But to get enough to really make a dent in your cholesterol, you'd usually need to get them from these fortified foods. Plant sterols and stanols have a structure that's very similar to cholesterol. Because of this, they work by blocking dietary cholesterol from being absorbed in your intestines. Basically, they elbow cholesterol out of the way, so less of it makes it into your bloodstream. Eating about 2 grams of plant sterols or stanols a day can lower LDL cholesterol by around 10%, and sometimes even up to 15%. This can be a really helpful boost, especially if your cholesterol is already high and you're making other changes to your diet. These fortified foods are made to give an extra boost to the cholesterol-lowering power of a healthy diet. So, where can you find these fortified products? They're often added to certain margarines or spreads, yogurt drinks, milks, and some orange juices. It's really important to read the labels to make sure the product actually contains plant sterols or stanols and to see how much you need to eat or drink to get that recommended 2 grams per day. For example, some orange juices with added sterols might need you to drink 2 8-ounce glasses a day. While these foods can be very effective, they work best when they're part of an overall heart-healthy way of eating. They're not a magic fix that will cancel out a diet full of saturated and trans fats. Think of them as an extra tool in your cholesterol-fighting toolkit. If you're thinking about using these products, especially if you're already on cholesterol-lowering medication, it's always a smart move to chat with your doctor or a registered dietitian about it. Bonus information, tips. While these 5 foods are definite power players, they do their best work as part of an overall healthy way of eating. Don't forget about these other great foods, fruits and vegetables. Beyond the ones we've mentioned, eating a wide variety of fruits like apples, grapes, and citrus fruits, and veggies like okra and eggplant, gives you more soluble fiber and other good things like antioxidants. Aim for at least 5 servings a day. Healthy fats. Swap out saturated fats, the kind in red meat, butter, and full-fat dairy, for unsaturated fats like olive oil, avocado oil, and rapeseed oil. Soy products. Foods like tofu and soy milk can give a modest nudge to lowering LDL cholesterol and are a good source of plant protein. Limit unhealthy foods. Try to cut back on processed foods, sugary drinks, fatty meats, and anything with trans fats, often sneakily listed as partially hydrogenated oil. Consider dietary patterns. Ways of eating like the Mediterranean diet or the DASH diet, which are all about fruits, veggies, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats, are proven winners for heart health and managing cholesterol. So, there you have it, 5 pretty amazing foods that can help send your cholesterol levels in the right direction. Oats and whole grains, nuts, fatty fish, beans and legumes, and foods fortified with plant sterols and stanols. By working these into your regular meals, you're not just eating, you're doing something really good for your heart and for a healthier life. Every healthy choice you make adds up. Remember, sticking with it is what counts. These aren't magic tricks that work overnight, but rather building blocks for a long-term, heart-friendly way of eating. Even small, regular changes can make a big difference. Which of these foods are you most excited to add to your plate? Or maybe you've got a go-to recipe using one of these cholesterol busters? Drop your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you found this useful, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you want more simple tips for living healthier, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit that little notification bell too, so you never miss an update. Thanks for joining us today for this chat about heart health. Changing up your diet like this can be a really great move, but it's also good to remember that there's often more to managing cholesterol. Always have a word with your healthcare provider or a registered dietitian before making big changes to what you eat, especially if you have any health conditions or are taking medication. They can give you advice that's tailored to you and help you come up with a plan that's just right. Here's to your health.